So the next section is the Q&A section. So these are 20 questions from my comment section on the first video. I'm going to whiz through these. So number 1, who was the doctor that did your nose? Dr Emre Turkmen of Cosmeticium through MedAway UK. He is an ENT surgeon. He's very skilled. He has 18 years of surgical experience apparently. So one of the things that attracted me to Dr. Emre as my surgeon is that he sent me a voice message with the treatment plan, and he told me exactly what he was going to do. So that really built trust for me to be able to hear what he sounds like, to hear the authenticity in his voice, to hear the professionalism. Yeah, and he came up with everything that I wanted and even more. Like, I never knew that my nostrils weren't symmetrical until he said so, and I was like, oh my god, they're not symmetrical at all. One was like completely bigger than the other. So yeah, I was really happy with what he suggested. I'm going to post information about him in the description box below. Would I recommend him? I would recommend him. The only gripe that I had was that he didn't hand out any aftercare instructions, and I asked him to provide that, and he was like, oh well, you could just text me if you have any questions. But I was thinking, well, not everybody knows what to ask or what to look out for, and it would just be good to have a document that you could hand to people. I mean, it's so easy to do, and it would make all the difference, I think, for patient aftercare, especially if people are coming in from different countries. Question 2, how much did it cost? It cost me £2,270, and that was with a 5% discount because I paid in full in advance, and I paid that into their UK bank account. I think you can also bring in cash if you're in the UK, you can bring pounds. I don't know about other currencies though, you'd have to ask them. So without the discount, it was £2,399. Okay, so I'm going to show you the thread. So I messaged them through WhatsApp, and they asked me to take, front, side profiles, and like this. So the message here: rhinoplasty procedures are carried out in the Medicine Hospital Istanbul by Dr. Emre. The 5-star hotel you will stay at is Gorian, Istanbul. The package price is only £2,399. This includes all surgery fees, 8 nights stay in Istanbul, so 1 night in the hospital and then 7 nights hotel, VIP transfers between airport, hotel and hospital, follow-up care in Turkey. And she sent me his Instagram, she sent me some of his before and afters, and she sent me information about his credentials. So the payment options. So number 1, if you make a full payment, you will get 5% discount. Also, if you make a full payment, you can come for surgery anytime in 1 year. 2, we can make a reservation for you if you pay a deposit of 20%. The price you got will be frozen for 6 months. Further price changes won't affect your quoted price. You can have your surgery at any point during this period. Rescheduling is also free of charge, and the rest you can pay in cash, British pounds, after consultation and before the surgery. So she said, we extended up to 6 months and 1 year and made flexible because of the pandemic. And then, following that, this is our thread. So I was in touch with her all throughout, and she was so responsive and so sweet, so nice. Like, look at that, like we talked so much. I don't even remember sending half of these questions or messages. Just before I forget, they also did check up on me after 3 months, I think it was, so that was cool. Was that the price of the entire package or just the surgery? So yeah, as I read out there, that was the entire package. So I paid $2,270 for everything excluding the flights. And the flights were pretty cheap. I think I got them for, I think I saw it going for like 150. Maybe I got it for no more than 200, I don't think. I can't remember now. It might have been around 200. What made you choose the surgeon company? I chose Dr. Emre because I liked his before and after pictures quite a lot. I like the fact that he sent me the detailed treatment plan. He also made himself available through video consultation. So we had a full WhatsApp video chat, and he was just really professional. He was a great listener. And yeah, I just felt like I could really trust him. I also asked him, I said, you know, I was considering going with a board certified surgeon who has, you know, a bazillion years of experience, but his before and after pictures were, it looked like he really didn't make any changes to the nose. It looked like he just got rid of the humps. Whereas with Dr. Emre, I felt like he was able to make a whole change to the nose, which is what I wanted. So I wouldn't get hung up on seeing a board certified surgeon. Dr. Emre, as an ENT, he has been working on noses for most of his career, if not all of his career. And he said to me that's what he does. Like, he wakes up thinking about, you know, rhinoplasty, he goes to sleep thinking about rhinoplasty. So he is fully immersed in the field, and yeah, I think you can trust him, definitely. So how could I contact your surgeon? So the way that I did it, I went through MedAway. I went onto their website and I filled out their contact form, and they messaged me on WhatsApp. You could also contact him via his WhatsApp or Instagram, I believe. Question 7, I was just looking at MedAway, but I never heard of them and wasn't sure. Yeah, so I'm surprised that I went with them because I'd never heard of them before. And I didn't see much about them online, and I'm one for reviews. Like, I go crazy for reviews, so if it has really great reviews, then I'll go for it. But this one didn't, and it didn't have any videos online about Dr. Emre, so I kind of took a risk on this one, to be honest, but just something told me that he was the right surgeon for me, and yeah, I don't regret it. The one thing that I would say about going directly through MedAway is that your night is at the medicine hospital. I think that's what it was called. I didn't like that hospital. I didn't like the staff treatment there. I felt it was really cold and none of them spoke English, and I was just kind of left there, and I was really quite, I was quite disturbed, to be honest, because it felt like, you know, if I called out, it might have been the cleaner who would come in pretending to clean, and she'd be like, oh, you know, no, like as if she can't get involved, but then like she wanted to help me out. So it was kind of sketchy, to be honest. And then some other things happened that just, it was not a good hospital experience, I'm not gonna lie. But you might get that at any hospital, so I wouldn't judge like Dr. Emre based on the hospital, because he doesn't work for the hospital, you know, like he just comes in, I guess. So question 8, just wondering if you slept elevated after the surgery, and did you do any special pre-op steps leading up to the surgery? So yes, I slept elevated for the first 6 weeks after surgery, and on my back as well. I would have continued sleeping on my back, but I'm used to sleeping on my side, on my stomach, and I just wanted to be comfortable. So yeah, I just gave it 6 weeks only. I definitely would encourage anybody to continue sleeping elevated for the first 3 months, because it definitely swells more when you're sleeping on your side or on your stomach. I didn't take any other steps before the surgery other than buying food and water for the hotel room, so that really helped. Definitely recommend that. Get what you need, you know. Having said that though, the room service is really cheap, so I wouldn't worry about it if you kind of forget and then you can't really go out. But you know, if you've brought someone along with you for the ride, then no worries, you know, they can just go out. And at the Gorian there is like a gas station, maybe just a couple minutes walk from the hotel, and then it's maybe a 5 or 10 minute walk to get to an actual supermarket store. Oh, I don't know how people make these YouTube videos. Like, I can barely talk anymore, I'm so exhausted.
A few moments later.
Question 9, I was wondering about your nostrils. I mean, they were a bit uneven after surgery and then get fixed. So there are my nostrils. I am so thrilled with what he did with my nostrils. Yeah, so they did become uneven for a few months, and yeah, and now they're not. At least as far as I can tell, I think they're okay. So I am over the moon about my nostrils. Like, I can just relax. they're not like flaring out, they're not just so big, and I really didn't like the nostrils before, but now I'm really happy about them. Question 10, what are the things that you advise to take with you when traveling to Turkey to get this procedure? I would advise taking a good quality neck pillow for sure. I got a cheap one, it was really hard, it was actually from Primark, and it was just so bad. So take a good quality neck pillow. Biotin gel spray, arnica pills, cream for the swelling, lip balm, medical tape, gauze, snacks. So I took nuts, pretzels, yogurt into the hospital room with me, which saved me because I was really hungry and they only provided liquid after the surgery and I was just so hungry. So I personally felt fine to eat snacks afterwards. It's definitely not advised. I'm not going to advise you to do that. But if you love food as much as I do and you can't really live without it, I would suggest taking some nuts or some pretzels, unsalted preferably. I would also suggest taking a laxative or something to help you go to the toilet. I didn't do that, but I may have benefited from doing that because I didn't go for like 4 days. It was tough. It was a hard time, guys. Also have Q-tips, Band-Aids, wipes, and a spit cup. All right, question 11. What hotel did you stay at? I stayed at the Gorian 5-star hotel. It was very quiet, it was very relaxed, and most of the people I saw there were also getting surgery, so I didn't feel out of place at all. Just don't worry. When you go there, just do not worry. Do not think about people judging you. And I was fortunate because, you know, I went during the pandemic, so I could just put my mask on. So that was a plus. That was definitely a plus. The housekeeping team were excellent. They were really helpful. I felt that I could trust everyone at that hotel. The reception team were pleasant. I felt very safe and welcome there and in the surrounding neighborhood as well. I enjoyed my experience meeting the locals in that location. I had to get an Uber into the city center, so it was about 20 to 30 minutes, but those rides were really cheap. I think they were like maybe £5 per ride into the city center, something like that. And it wasn't a bother because you get to see Istanbul, right? Just put your headphones on, put some music on and look out the window. Like, it's not a big deal if you're away from the city center at all. Normally I like to be bang smack in the middle of cities, but it really wasn't an issue. How was the anesthesia part? Because I'm so afraid of going under. This is a really good question. I had no idea about going under and what that would look like. It didn't even occur to me, like it didn't cross my mind, and all the videos that I had watched, nobody really talked about that, and it was the one thing that really caught me off guard. It was scary. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. So, you know, they rolled me into the operating room and, you know, you've got lights all around you. It's so bright and like, you know, it's coming. So they injected me here and it felt like a deep, deep pressure. Like it was really intense. It was like my arm is being filled up and I just never experienced anything like it. It was definitely uncomfortable. I'm not sure if it was painful. It felt like extreme discomfort, but it's fine. Like it lasted, what, 10 to 20 seconds and then I was out. So trust me, you're gonna be okay. I don't wanna scare you, but I will be honest and say that it was scary for me. But the scariest part was actually waking up because I didn't know that some people violently shiver and get the chills. And that's exactly what happened to me. I was so cold. I was so cold and I was like, you know, still half asleep and I was like, it's cold, I'm cold. I need a blanket, get me a blanket, I'm cold. Like I was so dramatic. They were rolling me back into the room. I'm like, give me a blanket. Why can't you speak English? Where's anybody who could speak English? Okay, next question. So question 13, what happens just before surgery and what happens after, like when you have the cast removed? So what happens before surgery? So I was taken from the reception area into the hospital room I filled in the forms and they left me there until the doctor was available, was ready for me. So I waited about an hour. The hospital room was really nice, but it was just really bare, really empty. It didn't even have any Q-tips, no tissue paper, like it had nothing. It was so unprepared for me. I'm just really glad that I brought my own belongings. I brought my own tissues, my own, whatever I needed, I had it pretty much. But I had to keep calling out to get like tissue, like more tissue paper and gauze and plasters. The week in the hotel room was fine, other than like the neck and back discomfort. I was really freaked out by the amount of mucus that I had. If you can see, I'll show you again for those who missed it. I've got to talk to you with this scene. This is so disgusting, but this is what happened to me the last few days of having the cast on. So you can imagine that by the time the cast removal came around, I was so happy, I was so excited. And it was a really nice time. It was really easy. It was really simple, the cast removal. So they picked me up and I went in at, I think, 8 a.m. They actually called me really, really early. I was still asleep. They didn't tell me when the cast removal would take place. They just called me and expected me to be ready at like 8 a.m. And I was like, I had no sleep that night, maybe because I was nervous about the cast removal. So I had slept at like 5 a.m. So I had 3 hours sleep and then rushing to get my stuff to get ready. And I got into the van, and then 3 other people who also had surgery were waiting for me. So they do group pickups. And I was like, I just felt so bad because like how long had they been waiting for me? I don't know. But yeah, finally made it in really early. And yeah, it was him and Dr. Emre and his assistant, and it was just the easiest clip. It was so easy taking the stitches out. It was not painful whatsoever. And then also taking the splints out, not painful whatsoever. The only thing that was painful was having the cast removed, because my nose was still really tender. So my head was like going up as he was taking it off. It was like, ah, but it only lasted like 5 seconds. And then after that, it was fine. Yeah, Dr. Emre was just like really friendly, really professional. He was really nice. And then following that, I was just like kind of free to go basically. Again, they didn't give me any gauze, any tape. And then as soon as I left the hospital, my nose started bleeding. So I would definitely recommend getting your own and taping that baby up, because you don't want to be bleeding everywhere. And I'd never had nosebleeds before the surgery, never had a nosebleed. So I didn't know like how quickly, like how rapidly it could be falling out from your nose. And you don't want that to happen when you're out on the street, because I didn't actually get a lift back to the hotel. I don't know, I forgot to ask, 1. 2, it wasn't like offered to me. So I just kind of went out and I thought, oh, let me just go exploring a little bit more before I have to like leave the hotel and fly back home. So I hope that answers that question. That was a bit of a long one. Okay, what next? Are we on question 14? So my question is, do you go to the doctor that's going to do the surgery on your nose and show him what type of nose that you want? You can do, but I'd recommend asking them first what they think. Most surgeons expect people to do this, to show them the kind of nose that they want. So yeah, feel free to show them, but also trust their expertise and ask for their opinion as well, right? Like they've been doing this for years and years. So trust them to know what's going to suit your face, what's going to look good. And my surgeon, bless him, even though he asked me what I wanted, I think he already knew what he was going to do, you know? Like I said, I want a small nose. And he said, yes, but the nose has to be in proportion to the eyes and this and that. So basically just trust the surgeon. It's also good to be realistic about rhinoplasty and what it entails. So it's all about subtle refinements and improving your aesthetic. It's not changing your whole appearance. It's not about having the perfect nose. So give them an idea, but don't try to go into every little tiny detail about what you want it to look like, because it's still has to be within like what is actually physically possible for your nose. Does that make sense? I hope so. So question 15, did you pay for the surgery the day of it or the day before? So I paid well in advance, but I think you are likely to pay it when you get to the hospital. So you arrive, I think you'd have the first night in your hotel room, and then the next day you'd go and meet with the reception team, and that's where you would pay when you're like filling in the forms and such. Question 16, did you have to take the corona test after the nose job? Like to get back home or get on a plane? If so, how was it? No, I didn't. I didn't have to take any test. I read online that they will test you at the Turkish airport, but I didn't see that occurring. In the hospital, the most they did was check my temperature. 17, did the cast hurt? No, it didn't hurt at all. Nothing around my nose area hurt. The only uncomfortable feeling, as I said, was when the cast was being pulled off, but it's only momentary discomfort and nothing to worry about at all. Question 18, are you happy with your surgery? Yes, I am. I'm really happy. I'm really happy with the outcome. I definitely have wondered, like, could it have looked even better than it already does? Like if I went with another surgeon, if I paid more, maybe, but for £2,000, like I'm pretty happy with it. I really love the side profile. And I love the shape of it. I love it. I just love it. Question 19, is the result worth any of the swelling and discomfort you felt? Definitely. It is not too bad. The whole nose job experience, looking back on it now, it's like a 5 out of 10, like of discomfort and like it being a nuisance. Like I'm just so glad that I did it. Like it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And the discomfort, the pain is not even that bad. Honestly, once you get past that first week, it's fine. So just get past that first week, and especially get past the initial cast removal, because that is a bit scary. Like you do experience some level of depression, or there's a big change, right? Like you have to adjust to this new change, kind of saying goodbye to the old nose, the old you. At least that's what it felt like to me. I felt like, oh my God, like I'm a new person. I liked my old nose. Like I had a bit of a breakdown initially. I was like, I liked my old nose, especially because it was like really swollen, and I was like, oh my God, is this what it's gonna look like? No, I miss my old nose. And then I would go to look at pictures of my old nose and I was like, oh my God, please. I am so happy that nose is gone. So if you ever doubt, if you ever worry, just compare your nose after the surgery to before. Trust me, it's worth it. And question 20, how has it changed your life? So I feel so much more confident. I feel that I'm able to be cute, sexy, flirty, feminine. I feel like I'm more like me, right? Like I don't feel like a different person. I was never trying to be a different person. I just wanted to feel more like me and more comfortable. And I think that's the greatest thing that it can give you. Now I can call my friends to have a video chat without even having any makeup on. Like I don't have to plaster all the makeup on. I just feel good about it. I just feel like me. That's all. So I hope you enjoyed that question and answer section. If there's anything else that you're wondering about, please let me know in the comment section below. I will definitely get back to you. Otherwise, good luck with your surgery. Let me know. Are you planning to go with Dr. Emre? Are you planning to go to Turkey? Do you think you're gonna go for it? What do you want done? Let me know. I'll be really interested to hear about your experiences. All right, guys, take care. Bye.